Well, a good morning to you. You are still watching Morning Live, and today we're taking a look at the KFC Mini-Cricket. We've seen many cricket stars coming through the ranks and starting off from KFC Mini-Cricket. I am joined for this discussion by Akona from KFC, Dr. Tracey from GEBS, as well as the legendary Makhaya Ntini. I'm just going to take a couple of steps to my left here, and I'm going to start with you, Akona, because rumor has it that you started out in the streets of mini-cricket yourself at some point.
I did. Back the day, I must have been about 9 years old, and it was then Baker's Mini-Cricket, and they came to our school, and I thought, well, this would be fun. But I think the fondest memory for me was actually playing with boys and beating boys on the field.
I love that. I love that humble brag for you. Talk to me about KFC as a brand. Why did you guys decide to get involved in mini-cricket?
Yeah, so KFC is probably the fastest growing and the largest QSR brand, not only in South Africa, but across sub-Saharan Africa. And I think for us to be a meaningful corporate that invests in an impactful way in our communities, we have to invest in our youth. Africa is the youngest continent. We all know this. And so for us, getting involved with mini-cricket was literally getting children off the streets, getting them active. But I think more than that, it's beyond just sports. It's getting children to learn leadership skills, which are skills that are required, by the way, whether you're going to run your own business or you're going to become an employee somewhere one day. And so we felt it's critical that we invest in our young people.
We look at KFC's investments, and obviously they wanted to be able to see what the actual impact of the investment is. And that brings me to you, Dr. Tracey. Speak to us about your involvement this time around with KFC Mini-Cricket.
So KFC really wanted, like Akona was saying, to be able to have credible evidence to say this is the impact that we are having in our communities. They really wanted to know that the work, that all of the effort that KFC Mini-Cricket is putting into these children in terms of their development is truly having impact beyond just physical for the children. We know that the children are active and running around, and that's what children should be doing. But in the design of the program, what they really achieve is holistic development of these children. It supports them physically, cognitively, psychologically, and in terms of their social development. So my role was really to do a study, and we went through quite a rigorous process of doing research, speaking to people, conducting a survey, a very extensive survey with a lot of the stakeholders who participated in KFC Mini-Cricket, to find out what they truly believe is the impact of the study, to have that real evidence to be able to say this is a really impactful program.
And when you looked at the outcomes of your study, what would you say are some of those things that stood out to you, which you found interesting?
So what was really interesting is that it's not just about, like I said, it's not just about the physical. The children get that, but they are being supported in becoming really holistically contributing citizens ultimately. They feel that there's the development of skills that will carry them throughout life, like communication skills, development of trust, resilience, like accountability, a whole host of skills that really contribute to them becoming really active citizens, and people will contribute positively to society ultimately.
I absolutely love that. Let me step over this side and speak to the legendary Makhaya Ntini, a man whose name is on the boards out at Lords. Makhaya, an honor to speak to you. Let's start off and say we look at mini-cricket, and you started out as well in mini-cricket. Speak to me about the importance of it starting at this age, at grassroots levels, and what that does for those that then move on into becoming professional cricketers.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. You know, it's one of those things when you look at ourselves and then we say, where do we start? You know, I remember the likes of Kaya Majola, Dr. Ali Bacha. You know, they used to come into our village. That's just for a visit, you know, and then when they introduced the program, you know, Baker's Mini-Cricket in our days, you know, it was one of those exciting moments where you know that you leave school early, you go and play.
Of course, that's the part you love the most.
You go and play, and then the most exciting things, you know, we were so excited to have when you go home, you've got the box of, you know, the what you call Baker's Mini, yeah, you know, biscuits, the biscuit itself, you know. So it was those moments, and then you look at ourselves with the likes of late Walter Masemula, Mackenzie, myself, where we started from the grassroots Baker's Mini-Cricket, and we ended up representing our country. It was an exciting moment, and I think I was so actually I was so sad when I heard that now it changes to KFC and says, "Oh my dear, are they going to be given KFC?" But the goodest thing about all of that, you know, if you look at it, how KFC now has actually rolled it, you know, and they actually reach more than 25 million schools. You know, for me it was, you know, the greatest thing, you know, that they continue with that, you know, legacy. And then you see kids at the likes of Kagiso Rabada as well. They came out of the KFC, Bavuma, Makram. Those are our captains of today. Our village now, there's no cricket because, you know, we're not there anymore. And then it's one of those things when you get invited with this, you know, mini event, and then you just look at yourself and say, how many of them that are there, but they are not to be found, you know. And then if they can go back and use us, we are done. Our future is already being buried now. Now we want to grow the cricket as well in our rural areas and make sure that they get the talent back.
And I absolutely love seeing you being used as well. And as I wrap up, I'm going to come back to you, Akona, just to say we hear Makaya speaking about his village, but it's also a perception that people have that the mini cricket is only available in villages. Let's speak to where it's available.
Okay, wonderful. So actually, we are present in over 6,500 schools. We have just about 127,000 children that are participating in the program with 13,000 volunteer coaches. And now what I love about what Makaya said, and to your point, is that part of sponsoring mini cricket is about driving racial integration, is about bringing diversity, is about driving gender integration. So we have a lot of girls that participate in the sport. We have a lot of children that come from very different socioeconomic backgrounds, and that's exactly what we wanted to achieve. Is we wanted our children to be exposed to what South Africa really has to offer, but also for girls to not feel left out, for boys to start playing sports with girls. We wanted to create racial integration, which we know in our country is a really critical component if we are to grow inclusively as an economy.
And that's how we wrap it up from out here at Gibbs with myself, Akona, as well as Dr. Tracey. And finally, last but certainly not least, Makaya Ndini, speaking all things KFC Mini-Cricket. It is something that has made a huge impact in South Africa. And we take a look at exactly what the outcomes of this study are and how it's made a change in a lot of people's lives, not just only having racial diversity in terms of those that can partake for the youngsters, but also allowing young girls and young boys to play and not always looking at just the results and it being competitive, but have fun and let's create holistic human beings. And that's how we wrap it up from here. From myself, Uvusiwe Ngcobo, it's goodbye.